Hey everybody, it's 13th Wolfman. You know what today is? Today is day 7. That's right. The 7th day in the 31 days of Halloween. Yeah. So, I'm just going to tell you, when I came up with the idea for the list this year, I just started throwing things on there that I just like, oh yeah, I'm going to put that one on there. A lot of stuff that I haven't watched in a while that's been sitting in the collection. I know I keep saying this, but so when I went over the list, after I got all 31 movies on there and I went over the list, I'm like, let's see if we got any kind of like things that we could, put together and, And I was like, oh, okay, well, I've got 4 Italian movies. Okay. So I figured, one movie every 7 days. And today is the first of those 7, once every 7 days. And today's is Black Sunday. That's right. 1960 Mario Bava Barbara Steele movie. This was Mario Bava's directorial debut. And he shot it in black and white. And it's a beautifully shot movie. In fact, he made the sets monochromatic. There's no color added to them whatsoever. You can't tell if there was because the movie shot in black and white. But from what I understand, when they were built, they were painted monochromatic, so that the grays look grayer and the blacks look darker. I thought that's a cool idea. Now, Barbara Steele and Mario Bava didn't really quite get along. This was Mario Bava's directorial debut. He'd been making movies in some capacity or another for a great deal of his life. He worked special effects, he worked the camera, he did lighting, he did a little bit of everything, but this was his very first directorial movie, And Barbara Steele wasn't Italian. So she didn't really understand the Italian way of thinking or even the Italian language at that. When she showed up to work, they kind of butted heads because of the language barrier. Even Barbara Steele says today is that, that she was kind of a little naive when she made this movie back in 1960. Now, I consider, and a lot of others do, Mario Bava the Italian version of Hitchcock. He's made a lot of great movies, and it's sad that him and Hitchcock died the exact same year, But a lot of people just think, that he had it. He had his finger on the pulse for what little time he directed movies. What was good and what was freaky. And this movie's got a very creepy, atmospheric, vibe to it. Barbara Steele actually plays 2 characters in this movie. In the 1600s, she plays a witch who gets the mask of Satan nailed upon her face, which is a cool look. She gets buried, and her lover gets buried in the cemetery where the land is reserved for murderers. She gets shoved into her family tomb, but it's made sure that, because she's a witch they say witch, but honestly it feels more like a vampire film. But so they put a cross, they put a window in her tomb and a cross that's always covering her face so that she can't get out. 200 years later, these 2 doctors, while they're coming through the countryside in a carriage, the carriage breaks down and they kind of like wander and they find this tomb and disturb it and, brings the witch back to life. Meanwhile, the family that owns the tomb and the castle that she's an ancestor of, Barbara Steele plays the young daughter of this family too. It's a really cool movie if you haven't seen it. It's like I said, it's got atmosphere. This is one of my favorite Bava films. This is actually probably one of the movies that made me fall in love with Italian horror. You know, as a kid, you just kind of like, it's black and white, so you guys have to deal with it. If you're young people that don't like black and white movies, you're missing out. You know, but it, like I said before, it's got the atmosphere, it's got the vibe, it's just creepy all around. A lot of really cool, interesting. There's a cool special effect in this movie where you could see the transfer of youth. You know, and I know how they did it. I don't want to say how they did it. I want you guys to watch it and kind of figure it out for yourself. Because it's the same way that they did the transformation scene in John Barrymore's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So if you know how they did that, you kind of know this. But it's a very cool movie. This is the day 7 of the 31 days of Halloween. And this is my privilege to watch this movie. Like I said, I love it. This was put out in a Mario Bava box set, which you guys, they're right there, both of them. They're put out by Anchor Bay. I don't think Anchor Bay has any of the Bava stuff available anymore. But if you could find these, good luck, because I think they're kind of pricey now. They're out of print, definitely. So that's it. Always like, subscribe, share, and comment. I want to know what you have to say. If you do subscribe, hit that button, because that will tell the bell button, because that'll tell you when you're notified of me putting new stuff up. As always, I am the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.